Hey guys, TechFi, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the HK Gaming Mira S, a $50 or £50 gaming mouse that weighs just 61 grams. If you enjoy this review, please consider subscribing to the channel, but obviously you've got to watch it first. So guys, let's get into this. In the box, you obviously get the mouse itself, your normal instruction booklets, as well as some grip stickers and replacement feet. I really appreciate them adding this because it didn't cost them a lot, but it's really nice to have and means you can keep your mouse for a longer time. The Mira S is an absolutely tiny mouse. It's just 114mm in length, 60mm wide and 39.5mm high at the tallest point. From this it should be clear that those who prefer a larger mouse should steer well clear of the Mira S. It has a symmetrical design, however since the side buttons are only on the left, it can only be considered a semi-ambidextrous mouse at best. More on the side buttons later. Being a small mouse and having a honeycomb design means this mouse is just 61 grams. This makes it feel very agile and easy to manoeuvre. However, due to the tiny size of the mouse, it does make it impossible to palm. Even with relatively small hands like myself, at 17cm by 8.5cm, I had absolutely no chance palming this mouse, and I feel like most people have this issue. So honestly, if you're a palm user, I just wouldn't even consider buying the Mira S. It's very well optimised and designed for claw and fingertip grip. For fingertip grip, I think it will suit most people. Obviously, if you have particularly large hands, then you may not be able to get comfy since it is very small, as I said. But for fingertip grip, you can go with the smaller mouse, even with bigger hands, and still be comfortable. And like I said, I feel it's great if you're a fingertip user. Claw users, I think it will vary from person to person. I did find, as a claw user myself, it took me a bit to get used to. I either had to have the back of the mouse in the back of my palm, or have a very aggressive claw. But once I did get used to it, it did fit very nicely into my hand, and was ultimately a good experience to use. Overall, I think the shape is brilliant if you're a claw or fingertip user, which is exactly what HK Gaming has aimed for with the Mira S. Just as an add-in as well, if you do decide to put the grip stickers on, they go on fairly easy and felt actually quite nice. I'm personally a fan of them and I think I'll keep them on, particularly on the sides, as they do help with the extra bit of grip since overall the smooth surface is fairly slippy. But it is really nice they included, so even though they're not for everyone, you can definitely give them a try since they were free, and I really appreciate HK Gaming adding them in the box. The cable is a good quality paracord cable. It was very light and flexible and not the cause of any drag or pushback. It was noticeably better than any rubber or just standard braided cable on other mice, and I was honestly very impressed with the way HK Gaming have made the cable on the Mira S. Performance wise, it is an optical mouse that uses the well renowned PMW-3360 Sensor. It has the 1000Hz polling rate and up to 12,000 CPI. Which should be more than enough for anyone. The sensor was accurate, precise and responsive. I think being a smaller brand, choosing a well-known popular sensor was a good choice by HK. It performs as you'd expect, tracking up to a height of just 4 playing cards, which gives it a fairly low distance in terms of gaming mice. For a bit of comparison, the Logitech G203 LightSync only tracked up to a height of 3 playing cards, whereas something like the Razer Viper Mini, which is another 61 gaming mouse, for just a little bit less, tracked up to a height of 7 playing cards. So overall, HK have done a pretty good job with this sensor. On the bottom of the mouse there are 4 PTFE feet, one in each corner. It glided quite fast and very smoothly. The feet were of good quality and I was very impressed to see replacement feet included in the box. This means that even if they do wear out, however I don't see that happening anytime soon, you've got replacements if you need them. The primary mouse buttons were pretty good on this mouse. They had a distinct, consistent click and it wasn't mushy or sticky or anything like that. They used the Omron D2 FC FK switches, which are rated at 50 million clicks, and while these were good, I think for the price, HK Gaming could have used something with a bit more tactility, but that is being picky and overall the primary mouse clicks were good. For anybody who's interested, here's a little sound test of the left click, and of the right click. The scroll wheel has a nice rubber feel to it, and maintained the high build quality along with the rest of the Mira S. It's mechanical with 24 steps, which felt distinct and tactile. I never double scrolled or anything like that, and overall it was a good scroll wheel. The scroll wheel click was also quite nice. It did have a tendency though, if you didn't get right in the middle, to give a little bit of scroll. Personally, I don't use the scroll wheel click in games very much, so this didn't bother me. However, let me know if you do in the comments, as this could be an issue for you. Here's a little sound test of the scroll wheel if you're interested. So here's the scroll, and the click. It's a noticeably quiet scroll wheel, which I do personally appreciate. It made it not feel ratchety or anything like that. Personally, I was a huge fan of the side buttons on the Mira S. Side buttons do play a big part in a mouse, and it's something on things like the Rival 3 that I had an issue with. Whereas these were brilliant, they took the right amount of force to press, they were nice and easy to find, and overall they just felt tactile and were great side buttons. Here's a little sound test of the rear button and the front button. HK Gaming has kept the lighting on this mouse very simple, with the only thing lighting up being the scroll wheel. They've definitely taken a performance-based approach. The mouse is available in a variety of colours though if you want to customise your setup that way. It's definitely, like I said, a more practical mouse. By default, the scroll wheel changes colour based on the DPI, but you can change this all in the software and change what colour it is based on the DPI that you're using. While it isn't the most fancy software like something from Logitech or Razer, all the features were easy to find and it was fairly simple to use, so I think they did a good job and I'm sure they will continue to develop it. You can also store up to 5 profiles on the onboard memory of the mouse. Overall, I think HK Gaming has done a really good job with the Mira S. Obviously at $50 or £50 it can't be considered a budget mouse anymore, it's definitely more in the mid-range, but that definitely shows with its high spec features and overall it just doesn't really have the issues that some of the budget mice I've reviewed recently have. Just to round it off as well, if you're a palm user, don't buy this mouse. Claw users and fingertip users, just consider that if you have big hands it may not be for you, but apart from that it's a great shape for those two grips. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up and even consider subscribing to the channel. You can get yourself some Techify merch at techify.co.uk and look as cool as I do. For your next video, I suggest you check out the Razer Viper Mini. It's another 61g budget gaming mouse. It's $10 less and I will have a comparison of these two mice coming soon. Thank you guys for watching and I will see you next time.